Oh, that's one of the PAs. Isn't it?
Okay, I can confirm you're live on YouTube.
Thank you. Welcome everybody, and thank you for attending today's meeting of the Kings Lynn Area Planning Subgroup. Please may I remind members that this meeting is being recorded and streamed live via YouTube. By attending this meeting, you are given your permission to be recorded and streamed. We also have the following officers present in the meeting, which is Lucy Smith, Senior Planner, and Hannah Woodhandy on Zoom. Do you want to do? Thank you.
We've had apologies from Councillor Ware.
I have no declarations of interest. I have no urgent business. There's nobody standing order 34. I have no chair's correspondence. So we go on to item 6, which I'm going to invite Lucy to present the application. It's for a proposed residential development of 22 affordable dwellings following demolition of the former community centre building at the former North Lynn Community Centre in North Lynn. Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you, Chair. So this application is a free bridge housing scheme for 22 new dwellings on the site of the former community centre on Lawrence Road in North Lynn. You can see the yellow star shows you that sort of semicircular piece of land there. And again, that's just a better site location plan. So you can see the site is surrounded by a lot of houses that are also owned by Freebridge. I think there's various maisonettes in the back. And then this is the proposed site plan. So it's a mix of terrace dwellings and semi-detached dwellings of 3 and 4 stories. There's parking courts serving some. You can, sorry, this plan is quite zoomed in on these screens. Parking courts accessed via sort of undercrofts. And then there's also houses with their own on-block parking. And that's a slightly better plan for you. That's 22 houses total. And then this gives you an idea of what they look like. Terrace of 3. And a street scene shot. So you can see here, that's the access to the parking courts underneath one of them. And then these are just some street scene shots to show you roughly what it looks like as existing. In terms of consultation responses to date, we typically only would control 15% of affordable housing in Kings Lynn. So this has come forward as 100% affordable by Freebridge. But housing have confirmed it's only 15% that would be secured through the planning process. We also need a revised flood risk assessment because they haven't detailed adequately the level of detail that the Environment Agency need. There's been queries from the air quality part of the environmental quality team in regards to vehicle movements and pedestrian access routes effectively, and what we can do to encourage people to use pedestrian links rather than private vehicles. And we've also got no objections from our ecologist. We did receive today another objection or lack of information from the Highways Authority. So that's not on this presentation, but Highways have asked for a lot more clarity and some detailing of visibility displays and driveways. That is all I've got so far. Thank you.
There's just one question before I just go to the other members. I noticed some of these properties are 3-storey. What is the 3-storey compared to the 2-storey? What of each, please?
Sorry, give me 2 seconds. So these are the 3 stories, that's a row of 4 terraces, which are 3 bedrooms. So effectively they've got a lounge upstairs with a bedroom and then 2 more bedrooms upstairs on that 2nd floor. And then these are the 2 and 2.5 stories, which are, so that's a 3-bed on the left-hand side of your screen there. And 2 3 beds again. There's a semi-detached sort of pair there.
Right, councillor Jones.
So the is it the 5th page of the slide? Oh, okay.
This one here.
Yeah, that's the one he's got. Yeah.
Are they coming straight out onto the road?
Yeah, so those are sort of traditional driveways for each plot, which is what the highways officer have raised some concerns about today. So obviously that requires either to reverse onto the driveway or off, doesn't it? So that is something that highways have queried.
It's quite a busy coming off Lacinda Road. That junction is very, very busy all the time. So I can't imagine that in the morning times when people are trying to come out of there, that's going to be very easy.
Also, the bus route goes that way as well.
Yeah, exactly. So people reversing out and things like that is going to cause all sorts of problems to that area. Also, I noticed there's not a community play area in this plan. That is something as a ward councillor that I know residents have been asking for, and we've asked Freebridge directly, and yet here we are with nothing but houses and no play area. So where are kids supposed to play?
Yeah, I have raised that with them. Our public open space team have queried, and they have said because of its proximity to other public open space, they don't think it's necessary. We haven't discussed that yet internally, so I don't know what our approach to that would be.
Councillor, sorry then.
What other amenities that are close by? I mean, if you're a parent and your kid wants to go out and play, where are they going to be able to play that's nearby so they can keep an eye on what's happening?
There's Councillor Hennigan.
I'm not too keen on this, if I'm really honest. I think this is already quite a densely housed area, and you're cramming quite a lot of housing into I'm quite familiar with this space, and you're cramming quite a lot of housing into a small space. I agree with Councillor Jones, the lack of play space. They really do. That area of North Lynn could really do with some more open space for families, because a lot of families live around there. I mean, it's something, I mean, you've spoken to residents, and residents have raised with me as well about the, you know, the need for some sort of play area. I do know we need housing. I'm just not entirely sure this is the right place or the right design for it, really. So, yeah.
There was one issue that I picked up when I looked through the application, was from the police report, where they're saying about the design, the layout and the specifications and the spaces around and between the properties. They don't think they are correct to reduce crime. Surely that has got to be something with the area in North Lynn. All right, I've got to admit it is improving, but that is something that needs to be looked at as well, I feel. Don't know if anybody. Yes, Councillor Hennigan.
I mean, I don't know whether it's appropriate to raise this, considering we're just dealing with the design, but I mean, really that area just needs to be an open space, even a reinstatement of the community centre, and an open space that could be used by the local community, play, park area, community garden, that sort of thing. Seems much more in keeping with that area, but I appreciate that's probably not, that's outside of what we should be discussing today. So,
Councillor Jones.
I'm aware that Freebridge have got a long plan of, they're looking at the other units behind that as, you know, eventually moving people from there into these newer ones, and I get that. But at least with those other units, they've got little play areas. They're not the best, you know, by no means, but communal areas. If you're going to put a lot of people in a small space, you need communal areas. If they reduce the houses so they're just facing the straight road at the back, so it was just a load of houses and then the rest of it was green space, that would be a much better solution, because then you could be coming out onto that road which isn't as busy as the circular part, the oval part of it, and it would mean that you've still got that green space where people who are living there could actually go out and play in that area and be watched by their parents without causing, you know, them going off somewhere else and you can't see them. I just don't think it builds a community. It just puts more pressure on the services that are already there.
Any other questions?
Well, I think as a subgroup, we are not happy.
Reject.
Yeah, that we're going to have to reject this.
Do
Well,
all
yeah.
of you object?
Yes, and I think it's unanimous, is it not?
Yeah.
Can I just check if there's significant changes? Do you want to come back before we make any decisions?
Yes,
Yeah.
please, yeah, because obviously with it being Ben's ward, I think he and residents are not happy as well if they've contacted him, that we need to look into this.
I've been told by no end of people that that would be better served. I get the need for housing, but if they mixed half of it, turned half of that space into play area and the other half housing, I know it's not going to fix the problem of housing, but then they could, you know, then where they're looking at remodernising the current St Ed's area, they could do that with some housing, knock a bit down, make a few more. Do you know what I mean? It'd just be a nicer approach to it than all housing, no play area.
Chair, if I may, I don't know how to stick my hand up on Zoom, unfortunately. I can't see a hand up button. So if I may just put my penneth in.
Yes, of course you can, Hannah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, all valid comments. I mean, you know, one of the, Lucy, have we had any objection from the local highway authority, please, just on the back of Councillor Jones's comments? You know, I'd be concerned about recommending an objection on the basis of highway safety if there's no highway safety objection. Can you just you know, outline any comments from the local highway authority, please?
Yeah, so today they did raise concern. They didn't use the word objection, so they haven't got an objection in principle, but it's
Okay.
about the detailing, and they requested more car parking courts rather than as many driveways coming on and off. I don't know what that would actually mean in terms of what the acceptable scheme would look like to the local highway authority. They weren't very clear in terms of specifics.
Okay, but I mean, you know, the rest of the comments are valid in terms of placemaking, you know, and all those comments are validly made. You know, I would point out, obviously, there's a public open space opposite the site at the bottom as I'm looking at the screen. But you know, I take all your comments on board with regard to overall placemaking. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Hannah. So if there's no other comments, you've got all the details you need, haven't you? I close the meeting at 4:22. Thanks, everybody.